we're kind of on the verge of an age of genetic expectations where we're going to be able to manipulate our children's genes in a way that we can barely imagine now.
Genius. We use the word to describe people with superior intelligence, extraordinary ability, or creative capacity above all others. Most of society views it as something you're either born with or not. Well, now science is looking at ways to rewrap this gift of nature.
I found another type of blood cell.
Who will become this generation's Albert Einstein or Marie Curie?
Booster ignition and liftoff.
Who will develop technology to put a human on Mars or save our own planet from global warming?
It's really cool.
Create art like Monet or Matisse. Make beautiful music that will fill concert halls. Whether you believe extraordinary talent and superintelligence are gifts of nature or a gift of God, there are ways scientists and parents have tried to stack the deck even before birth.
What Robert Graham did was that he turned infertility into a consumer business, and he turned sperm banks into catalog shopping.
In 1980, Graham founded the Repository for Germinal Choice based on his idea.
He thought too many stupid people were having too many children.
He collected sperm from several Nobel Prize winners and other men who had superior ability or intelligence. Sperm was provided to women who were also considered to have genius IQs. More than 200 children were born before the repository closed in 1999.
I think every mother and father thinks that when they have a child, it's going to be wonderful, beautiful, and intelligent and talented, right? So this was the same thing.
David and Adrienne Ram had that dream, but were unable to conceive on their own.
We really wanted to have a family that would really contribute to wonderful things in this society.
They contacted the repository and picked a donor with specific attributes, a scientist who loved music. Their daughter Leandra is a musically gifted opera singer with an IQ of 135.
I've sang my whole life pretty much because my mom's a pianist, so I've kind of grew up with music.
Did Leandra's ability come from her genes or her environment? After researching the Genius Factory, David Plott says it may be both.
What kind of woman goes to a sperm bank that's known as the Nobel Prize sperm bank? It is a woman who is determined to raise a child who's going to be accomplished.
So what next in the quest to create smarter offspring? Scientists have begun to isolate genes associated with intelligence and have bred mice with larger brains. But in humans, the criteria is more ambiguous.
There are many, many, many different ways in which a person can be bright or intelligent. Somebody could have talent in mathematics but be a lousy writer.
Tap your sticks. 1, 2, 3.
What you become is a complex mix of your genetic potential, your environment, and your character.
You can be born with all the musical talent in the world, but if you don't practice the piano, you're not going to be a great musician.
No.
Is it possible some children have evolved beyond the traditional measures of genius?
Let's do butterfly again.
They just have a knowledge about them, of self-esteem that we didn't have.
They're called Indigo Kids because some psychics claim that they see dark blue auras surrounding these children.
I call it a quantum leap in evolution.
Others say total nonsense.
This is so far out that it borders on the irrational.
Parapsychologist Nancy Tappy first identified indigo children 20 years ago.
They're straight talkers. They don't want to be talked down to, and they'll catch you at 3 if you do.
She says indigos can be identified by their large, clear eyes. They have high IQ, self-confidence, and do resist authority.
They look like they're hyperactive, ADD, ADHD, etc., because they're running faster than we are.
Some parents claim their kids can remember past lives.
Maybe about a year ago, he told me, remember, Mom, when I was your dad?
They're always talking about when they were in heaven and what they knew and who they knew, and
David sandwich toppings.
They need more stimulation because they're 2 steps ahead of where we are.
But skeptics, like psychologist Russell Barkley, have a different opinion.
The medical community and the scientific community utterly ignores this concept. It simply isn't being discussed at all because there's no facts to it.
Barkley says science has a simpler explanation.
Some of the characteristics listed for these children actually fit with certain well-known psychiatric disorders.
Barkley says the term indigo could misdiagnose children with ADHD or bipolar disorder, with dangerous results for the child.
This could greatly, I think, mislead people into pursuing treatments that don't work. And in that sense, I find them morally reprehensible.
Parents of indigos see something different.
You can be a skeptic all you want, but they're here. They're here, they're now, and it doesn't matter what you call them.
Childhood experts say it does matter. Special gifts or special problems is a very important distinction.